types of communication skill. In the first slide, that what is interview, that a formal meeting, one question considered another person, that what interview simply mean looking between us. Interviews and exchange of views and conversation conducting one in such exchange interview differ from other in that ways that help for a specific reason. And that are about interview, that we have to get to the toward the next slide, that what are the purpose of the interview, that why it is so important, to give some importance, that it also means to information gathering and problem solving and evaluation, your ability to shine, you have to you get a hairstyle, your abilities, talent, the interviewer have to check some talents, personality, and your education, your past, and your family background. Interview want to learn something, but the candidate do the job or not. Is the bad candidate for the position? Is he have to face any difficulties? More towards when he will do this job, and will the candidate fit in? If this have the candidate have the abilities that he will fit in. And then we move toward the next slide, that is preparing for the interview, that think about information you need during interview, gather wide sample, reference place in a nice case, and bring to big event plan, research the company before when you get to the job, analyze the job, appropriate clothing, and a nice hairstyle, and your shoe polish, and you have your checklist, that you have degrees and your documents that you get with you or not, you your work history, that what choose a good time, and prepare and practice on some typical questions, that most of the typical question and that was asked in the interview, that what is your name, what is your family background, what job did your father has, and what have your salary expectation in the job, that all about these, that the mostly asked questions. And then we have about the types of interview, that the chapter will look at the following four types of appraisal, delegation, coaching, and counseling. And the first one is appraisal. In the present, the talk between employee and a manager, they have work about performance, require both prepared to prepare for it, and an appraisal interview, that is the most particular to us as a manager, it will to both, and the job holder prepares something thoroughly for the interview. You should study the job holder description, the standard performance that you have set up. If targets are being set, regularly review, think about these with care. And the key question to at this stage are what result the job holder achieve, etc. Discuss work performance, that the employee is doing well or not, require both to prepare for it and take place once in a year or to receive feedback, and searching the relationship between the employee and the job holder, and talk about the company facilities, and such as the relationship between employee and the job holder, because through this interview, that it may also strong the relationship between the employee and the job holder, then they have like friends, and have strong feelings for each other. It's all about the present interview, that the job holder have to find some outstanding, good, and developing performance from you. And then we have to move toward the next slide, that is about the delegation. Delegation, that asks to protect your job holder, that is ask on leadership scale, achieve goal, that require cooperative group effect. Delegation, that is properly to give somebody to do something you could do yourself. It is just handing out work. You have somebody a responsibility, the task to be performed. As I have mentioned this point, that a great trust in the performance of your employee, allow time to focus on initiative, increase job satisfaction, more motivated staff. If there's a more motivated staff, and the boss is good, then the employee will never have no chance to leave this job, and then they become more interested. And the skills, your experience, qualification are necessary for this task, and skill profile must watch in the need, and further training or support will be necessary. That what do you have that. And the next slide is about the coaching. It's role to ask question, to explain current situation for difficulties that the boss will have asked, about during it may about in one area that focus on solution rather than problem. It's due to improve employee performance at least. Yes, that makes quite important one, that improve motivation to, if the, yes, that if the employee motivation will be more than he become more interested in this job, and he have never chance to leave this, it lead to improve employee performance, that become, he become more interested in the job and do well, and provide good result and provide good result, and then we have to move toward the uh, yes, sir. Coaching is the aim of coaching interviews to help the coach think for themselves. Fostering response is the second stage of coaching. Improve second stage thinking what to do. So that the stage coaching encourages the coach to think about ideas for action, opportunity for change or growth, decide what to do, how to do it, and how taking action. The coach role is to ask questions insisting with will tend to generate a minimal response. The action carried out but little more. Asking question focus increase awareness, encourages the coach to take responsibility. Asking question that will also help the employer. That is all about the question. Then we have to move toward our last slide is about counseling. Uh, that is the last slide that have, that the more confused what is about the counseling is that the counselor that give advice, that not a true statement, that because the counselor have to give advice, not giving advice, it's just give idea. It's about the work, and is how you have scale about your skills and your, and so the audience that also have know you have some knowledge, then he will gain some points from the counselor. Yes, it help to fund to main skill, have help someone to help themselves. The counseling is like coaching helps someone to themselves. Counseling is not giving advice. As a counselor, your role is to provide a different perspective from which is to try, and it's also come that the skill qualities is needed in some way. The empathy know ability, the counselor does not know what to do, and that may help first reflect feeling and help develop to feel skill to motivate someone. Because for motivation, these may use it rely on assumption that counselor has skill and knowledge. That means to say that probably the most useful, the most technique we use first in counseling session, that is always clarifies the issue that is about concerning, and you result in repetition of point that has been made, that is provide on the subject is done, and in the last stage, that is you are not making a request beyond the simplest request, that the counseling maker making a decision. If you have someone to make a clear plan that we are motivated to act on, then your counseling has succeeded.